The woman walked into a hole in the ground, but when she got inside, she discovered that it was actually a footprint. It was as big as several women. What kind of creature could have left such a large footprint? According to the recollections of the two elderly people, in the evening, their dog kept barking outside, thinking it had seen a stranger. They were eating and didn't pay much attention to it. Suddenly, the house shook violently. They thought it was a landslide. The two immediately hid in the basement. Just as they hid, the entire house was violently shaken, as if hit by an earthquake. After an unknown amount of time, they heard no more noise outside, and crawled out. However, the scene before them left them speechless. Their house had been reduced to rubble, as if something had smashed it to pieces. Two enormous footprints remained on the ground. After hearing the elderly couple's account, Captain Chris believed it must have been a giant creature. However, after searching the area within a 20-kilometer radius along the footprints, they found nothing. It seemed to have vanished into thin air. Even when they activated thermal imaging, they still found nothing. Such a large creature shouldn't just vanish into thin air. It must have hidden itself. But the surrounding area was nothing but barren mountains. Where could it have hidden? They couldn't imagine it. The creature was like a rock, camouflaged among the mountains. To find the creature, Katie and the others sought out an old archaeology professor. Decades ago, he had studied these giant creatures, but everyone thought he was crazy and had him committed to a mental hospital for a time. Until now, they had discovered more clues about the giant creature, and only then did they realize the old professor wasn't just talking nonsense. They brought the old professor to the place where the giant creature had vanished, drawing on his decades of experience interacting with nature. The old professor immediately noticed. He immediately noticed that the soil scent was off. Katie saw that the old professor seemed to have made a discovery, and hurried over. The old professor compared the map he had drawn over a decade ago with the current landscape, and found that the terrain was completely wrong. There was also an extra mountain that had mysteriously appeared. Just as the two were about to compare the maps in more detail, the mountain behind them suddenly opened an eye. Katie turned to look behind her, and saw a huge eye staring at them.